How's it going, guys? So today we got the M5 in the little shop because we got heat. We're doing a few things to it here. Just trying to get a feel for what exactly we have going on. So we're going to be telling you everything that's wrong with my cheap BMW E60 M5. Okay, so we're going to start off with what we have going on right here. The main thing wrong with the car right now is the ECU. And I'll explain something to you real quick. This is not M5 problems. This is E60 problems. What I mean by that is every E60 has this problem. And that's where the drain stops up in the ECU box, backs up and floods the ECU. Now, this ECU is barely gotten wet. So what the guy before me did was get the same thing I did with mine to start with, my black one, is get a key, a cast module, and a new engine ECU and swapped it out. That'll make the car run. However, since this car has the SMG box, it will not let the car go out of safe mode. It cannot see the steering angle sensor correctly. This car will not go out of engine safe mode. So you have the half power check engine light. You cannot fix that without having the original ECU. We had the same problem on my 08 528xi. Some of the ABS functions wouldn't work, the brake pad wear sensor function wouldn't work, and this car, the SMG, doesn't work. So it works, but the lights are on for it and it's in safe mode. So here we have the original ECU, and I should have showed you what I had this. I actually got some pictures I should be able to insert in here. This one, it looks fine from the outside, looks great, but it did have a little bit of water damage and a couple burnt spots on the inside. Here's the cast. Anytime you replace the ECU, you got to replace the cast module and the key. So we have both keys up here on the roof. One has a keychain, one don't. The one that without the keychain is the old one. Also, that's what's wrong with that. Also, there's some other paint issues in this car that I could not see when I bought it. I don't know if that'll buff out or not. Somebody's repainted this top, probably from flaking clear, and it's dull over here. Will that buff out? I don't know. I got some pretty good buffing tricks. That won't buff out. So I don't know. We need a good hand washing first and get all the sediments and bird poop off of it and clean it up. That's not that big of a deal. I did notice, and he didn't tell me about it, that this window regulator is junk. That's not that hard to fix. It's pretty easy on one of these. I see by looking in here real quick, open this skylight sunroof up here. I see that this button has a little broken piece on it. Not quite sure how the heck that happens. We got some trash down between the seats, as every BMW has that. I don't know. Other than that, everything else inside that I know so far isn't bad. Now, when we bought this car, it's supposed to have the throttle actuator is supposed to be bad on it. Throttle actuators are not, well, we don't know if they're bad. They're not throwing codes for it. The old ECU was throwing codes for throttle actuator because there was a problem with the ECU from the water damage. The new ECU does not throw that code once you reset everything. It doesn't come back. Are we going to have to do throttle actuators or not? Well, that's like a 50-50 shot at this point. If they haven't been done 119,000 miles, probably a 90% chance. It's like $100. We'll rebuild them, no big deal. I haven't checked all the air filters or anything. We did take the winglets off because they were dragging on everything. They're right here. eBay winglets. Took all the double-sided tape, took the screws off, got all that done. Like I said in the last video, the black paint's painted over chrome. We'll have to do something with that. That doesn't look good. Let's say black doesn't, but black with chipping off and chrome underneath doesn't look good. This headlight's getting a little bit hazy. Not too big of a deal though. It should be pretty easy to fix it. And yeah, that's all on the front of the car. Well, we don't know if that's all in the front of the car. That's all for right now on the front of the car. We're gonna do the rod bearings in this engine because I don't have any faith not to do those, right? Need to get the lift in here before we could do those. We don't have to, but we should, so we could videotape it all, do everything for you guys we need to do. And once we do the rod bearings, we'll look at everything else. I don't see any oil leaks anywhere. We also need to check the spark plugs. We need to check, see how the coil packs are looking. I need to give her the old once over, and while we're in there doing that stuff, we might just go and pull the intake off, the plenum off, and see what's happened with the actuators, throttle actuators. They look worn. We're just going to replace those. And these are aftermarket. When you guys said, I'm pretty sure they were. We'll sort that out too. We'll get those off of there. Let me see what else was going on here. I remember just what was going on here. He has the retrofitted tail lights for the LCI tail lights. So it has adapters in it for that, right? There's like adapter harness that goes from here to here and converts it to that smaller plug. Then it has another wire running off of there, this kind of hanging out here, right? What's that doing? Well, I really don't know. We'll have to try to sort that out, because this is saying pretty much, hey, something's not right, and you need to fix the tail light bulbs, and it's freaking out about all that. Now, I did notice on the M5, it has a battery in the middle, not over here. I guess because of the exhaust, the way the exhaust is. Speaking of the exhaust, I don't know anything about the exhaust. I've not looked under it, under the undercarriage yet to see what's even going on with that. Probably afraid to look, but it may not be too bad. It sounds okay. That's yet to be determined. Now, I'm going to set you down here. The SMG pump. I'll get you set up here a little bit. Let me do a little bit of... There you go, a little bit of that. The SMG pump for the transmission has been replaced. Supposedly. Has another one in the trunk. I'll just go ahead and show you. It has another pump, and it looks like the solenoids in the trunk. That's the key thing. We don't need that though. Yeah. So very interesting. We probably need to get that out of there and see what's even going on with that. And make sure that we have the updated pump. Because what makes these transmissions blow up is not having the updated pump, and it loses pressure at high RPM and blows it up. Now, I'm guessing the pump is new. It wasn't just an eBay pump. I don't know. This is all stuff you just don't know, and I can't quite get a straight answer out of them exactly what's what. That could be an issue. The clutch that was getting hot on the trailer, pulling it off and on the trailer, and we had the clutch smell. Hopefully that wasn't a problem. It shouldn't have been though. It should have been fine. So all that stuff's going on with it. The car needs tires. The tires are about, I don't know, half tread, a little less than half tread. It has Michelin Pilot Super Sports in the front. I hate those tires. Wet traction. Those are like California tires, right? Dry, never rains. Those are good tires for that. Not good tires for Missouri when you might get caught out in a rainstorm or, God forbid, a snowstorm. Not good tires for that at all. So that's all I see wrong with it for this very minute. Now, also with the ECU swapped, all the suspension systems disabled. Okay? All the suspension control stuff's all disabled, and so forth. As far as maintenance stuff, the Vanos pump, all that stuff, I guess it's all factory. You have to assume it's all factory. We'll have to try to look at that. Maybe we're in the rod bearings. I think you get the Vanos pump while we're in the rod bearing situation. It didn't look that bad. Other than that, the rest of the car isn't too bad. It needs a back window seal, just like every other E60 in the world, and E39. As you can see there. Maybe you can see there. There you go. And I think that's aftermarket. I don't know, good enough. And then our spoiler is missing. I showed you in the last video. And then our clear coat in the back bumper is off. There you go. Spoiler is gone. Fix that easy enough. Emblems are all good. I'm sure it's going to have all the usual suspects for the E60. Not only it's a M5, but it's got all the E60 issues, right? Like I was talking about before. So we'll have to go through all the brakes and all that nonsense and make sure all that's up to spec. I can tell right now the wheels are kind of black in the front. I'm not down with that. I don't do the non-ceramic brake pads because it'll run your wheels quickly, very quickly. So we'll be doing all that. Be checking all suspension once we get everything primed up and working. We check in all the connections under the hood. Make sure all this kind of stuff is good. I think on these to pretty much fix that. At 119K, we have to take a look at all the coolant lines. Those are getting to the end of their life at 119K. So there's a lot of stuff in this car we have to go over. And now, this is not a car. This is not a car I'm going to be daily driving. I have a whole shop full of cars, right? To be totally honest with you, this car probably won't have any more. If I have this for 3 or 4 years, I might put 4,000 or 5,000 miles on it in that much time. Maybe. Probably not. I have too much other crap I have to drive, like on the regular, because we're working on stuff and doing whatever, and you gotta drive other stuff. And anytime I go to get anything, we don't use the cars, we use the Sequoia with the car hauler. I haven't functioned the sunroof. I just don't even want to even touch it, to be honest with you. All the Alcantara on the roof is all good. All the Alcantara and all the C-pillars. Oh man, almost all the doors are locked. All the Alcantara and the C-pillars, everything's all good inside. As you can see, or maybe not see there, as you probably can't see at all. There you go. So don't have to worry about any of that. All of it's good up here. Gonna focus in there. Probably can't see none of that. All the back seat stuff's all good. This door is not unlocked. And the battery's unhooked. Okay, yeah, it's just all locked. Yeah. And yeah, I think overall we're pretty good shape. I don't know if I should tell you how much I paid for this car or not. It wasn't very much. It was slightly more than Tyler Hoovy paid for his. Slightly by like a few $100. The book on it is about 12 to 15, depends on what you got and what you did to it and so forth. So we're in it good enough. If this car breaks that SMG box, we have a choice. Can I possibly Copart up or eBay up a crashed out or burnt out 550 E60 and swap this to a manual? That's what we have to look at. A couple of guys done that, but I think finding a manual 550 is going to be real difficult. Real difficult. You have to get that or a 650. That's going to be even harder to find yet. So that's always a possibility, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully the SMG box is good to go for a while. We will see. That's going to be it for everything that's wrong with the M5. So everybody sit down, say a little prayer for me. Just messing with it, should be alright. And we'll get this thing up to par. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. We'll see you soon.